on a day-to-day basis and thank their parents for all the support that they provide to the kids and to the members of the staff. Second note is about a student at Malden High School I thought you'd like to hear about. I got an email from Dawn Frim, his teacher. Dawn's a teacher in the PACE program. And the note's about Christopher Luongo, and she wanted to let us all know a little bit about Chris. Chris is an active participant in both the PACE program and Access program, and he has now been selected as a member of the National Honor Society. In his previous high school, he was told that he had reached a plateau and could not develop his cognitive skills. Chris set out to prove them wrong. He has developed all of his academic skills and keeps learning new material and skills on a daily basis. He has a great love for learning and thrives on academic challenges. Chris was voted most conscientious by his classmates and teachers. He was also voted the president of the PACE program. He is a member of the Building Buddies Club, watches out for the less able students in the program, and takes time to help his classmates in any way he can. The other students look up to Chris as a role model. And Chris has accomplished more than is required academically, socially, and in the community, and does it with excellence and flair. In the most basic way, Chris exemplifies the true meaning of what a member of the National Honor Society should be. And for those of you who know a little bit about the PACE and Access program, those are our kids who struggle with the greatest of disabilities. And this is really an incredible accomplishment. So I hope that Dawn and I hope that Chris are watching this evening, because I know on behalf of everybody I want to give a kind of tip of the cap to both of you. It's an incredible accomplishment. Next, I want to give congratulations and thanks to Debbie Buckley, who is a teacher in the entrepreneurship program. Debbie led a contingent of Malden High students to the nifty New England Youth Entrepreneurship Conference. It's quite an honor for our kids to participate in that at Babson College. And again, Debbie puts in an incredible amount of work. And again, I just wanted to give a tip of the hat to Debbie and to Bob McCarthy for his support of the program. And then finally, a last note, and again, a note to some outstanding students. Congratulations to the following Malden High School students, each of whom was selected as a progressive scholar for the Colby Sawyer class of 2013. All of these students have earned 4-year scholarships from Colby Sawyer, and they are Kristen Tran, Felicia Texera, Amanda Rogers, Kristen White, Lauren Medalis, and Pascal Chatain. And I'd also like to thank Victoria Tremblay and the guidance staff for their efforts in this project. Again, another feather in the cap of Malden High. Congratulations also to Dana Brown and his entire staff. That's it for the accomplishments. Questions?
Questions on that portion of the superintendent's report? Seeing none.
Okay. I'll move on to a budget update, talk a little bit about FY09 and just very briefly about FY10. In terms of FY09, as we do each month, you notice the pie chart that Ms. Oliver prepared to give you a sense of what our year-end expenditure projections are. One note I would like to make is at the bottom you'll notice that it says adjusted available funds. It mentions $328,854. I'd like to caution everybody a little bit when you look at that and think, oh, my goodness, we were going to run a big surplus this year. Homeless transportation at this point, as an example, we are running above projections, to the tune of $254,371. I think all of you know that many families have moved into Malden over the course of the last few months as a result of the budget crisis, and we continue to have escalating costs associated with that. So between that and utilities, we really expect to wipe out much of those available funds by the close of the year. Just wanted to make that note. But we still will be running in the black at the end of the year. And in terms of FY10, just want to make the note that as a result of the economic stimulus plan that is being negotiated at the federal level, we really are not able yet to speak definitively about the fiscal projections for next year. So as we get more information, I just want to commit to you that I will make a point to keep everybody up to date, the status of the budget as we move forward. And I know that the budget subcommittee is going to start meeting shortly, and we'll be able to work more aggressively on putting together the budget for FY10. So that's the budget update. Before I move on, if anybody has any questions.
Questions on budget conditions? None?
Okay. High school renovation, as you'll note in my monthly memorandum to you, the final multi-year staging plan has been completed, and it's in the process of being revised for distribution to all of you and to the community. It will be available to the committee in time for the March 9th meeting. The mayor will introduce the plan to all members of the Malden educational community on Monday, March 30th at 6:30 p.m. in Jenkins Auditorium. And on Monday, April 6th, the following Monday, the mayor will join Mr. Brown and me to discuss the plans in greater depth with high school faculty at the high school. Initial preparations for the renovations are underway. We have both the Parent Information Center and the Special Education Office, the two offices most impacted by the school in the school department and at the high school, which will move to the City Hall, have checked out the spaces. We have a plan in place for how those moves will take place. So we think that we're in good shape in anticipation of the work we have to do this spring. Any questions on the renovation?
Mr. Winslow.
This is for the mayor. I know that as part of the stimulus package, I know the city submitted a proposal for perhaps $15 million to deal with City Hall. Would that impact the high school renovations at all? Is that looked at as the possible gap in the money that the city didn't have to move City Hall down to the high school?
No, that would be a separate project entirely. At this point, in the design process, we've moved past the idea of including City Hall as any part of the high school, so the project sits on its own as an independent school project without the idea of City Hall being there. We did submit as well a request for renovations to Jenkins Auditorium within that stimulus package opportunity. So if that money shows up, then the good thing about it is we'll enhance our budget to be able to restore Jenkins Auditorium.
Right. Thank you.
Mr. Iovino.
Were there any additional monies forthcoming with regard to roof repairs that may be included, not considered extra but included, that we said he would realize a reimbursement under the reimbursement?
In the stimulus package?
Yes.
And I think what we did was we sought a number. We couldn't duplicate monies that the state was giving to us for the renovation of the school, but we did seek money for the restoration of the auditorium as kind of a separate contract. So theoretically, you could shift some resources that are now allocated maybe to the Jenkins Auditorium facility to be allocated to the roof repair, which we've scaled back on a little bit within the building committee plans. But as of right now, nothing separately was included for repairs to the roof.
Thank you.
Mr. Froyo?
Without the extra money for the Jenkins, is some work going to be done in the renovation, even if we don't get the extra money?
Yes, there is a level of improvement that will occur within the auditorium. It's not quite as grand a restoration as we were hoping would be available under the original budget, and additional monies would allow us to do other things around lighting, around audio, around chair restoration, to bring the facility more in line with the historic nature that it was built with in the 1930s. But without those resources, there'll still be an upgrade to the facility.
Thank you.
Any questions on this?
Okay. Last item had to do with the technology upgrade at Beebe and Ferryway School. As I noted, plans have been completed for the replacement of all of the computers and related technology infrastructure at both of the schools, and we're moving forward in anticipation of making the upgrade during the April vacation. So the staff and students will return to new computers after April vacation and firmer infrastructure to support those computers. And been a long time coming, and folks are pretty excited about that. Any questions about that?
Chair would thank the City Council for its authorization of the bonding necessary to allow that infrastructure investment to go forward. It'll be a good thing for both schools.
So that's it for me.
The next item is deliberations, and we have subcommittee updates scheduled from any subcommittee chairpeople or members that would want to offer anything at this stage. No updates. All work is proceeding as planned. Yes, I'm sorry. Ms. Crowe? That's all right. Sorry about that.
I'm just from actually the safety subcommittee. Tonight we all got Ms. Ronzio passed out a report from a fire inspection that was in response to an email that was sent by a Malden High School student that was inquiring. And we know that the report says that we are in all in compliance. There is one recommendation just about fire extinguishers in the laboratories, and so we're going to be setting a meeting, I believe, next week. I'll look at that to sort of take up that one recommendation. And we'll, let that person know.
Thank you, Ms. Crowe.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 6, the consent agenda. We do have a recommendation from the negotiating team and a vote to be carried forward from the executive session regarding negotiated contract with the paraprofessionals of the system, and we need the appropriate vote to approve what was authorized in the executive session. Somebody would advance the appropriate motion, we'd call it.
Make a motion.
So moved by Mr. Duffy to approve what was voted in executive session, and seconded by Mr. Froyo. Please call the roll on the proposed contract settlement.
Mrs. Crowe?
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Duffy?
Yes.
Mr. Froyo?
Yes.
Mr. Iavino?
Yes.
Mrs. Rivera-Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Altrino?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mayor Howard?
Yes. So voted. Item number 1, approval of the 2009 and 2010 school calendar. You have a copy of a proposed calendar in your packet. And we can hear from any member accordingly, but Ms. Rogers puts it on the table in her motion. A revised one also appears on the table in front of you as well. Ms. Rivera-Rogers so moves. Do we have any discussion on it? From our student member? Yes, Ms. Allen.
Will Jewish holidays be offered? Are they still, you can take the day off with no schoolwork that day?
Good question. A question on the Jewish holidays. Response on that from the superintendent?
The students, there will be no tests administered on those days. It's essentially a carry forward of the same policy that we've had this year. Yep. Thank you.
Other questions on the proposed calendar for the year beginning in, is it in late August? It is. And continuing until June of 2010. Otherwise, Ms. Rivera-Rogers so moves.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Winslow. All in favor? Aye. Calendar is so voted. The reappointment of the school committee clerk. Chair opens nominations for that esteemed position, and Ms. Rivera-Rogers nominates Ms. Ronzio.
Second.
Do you have a resume, Ms. Ronzio?
Battle scars.
Seconded by Mr. Iavino. We'll close those nominations and vote to appoint Ms. Ronzio as the school committee clerk to continue the great work that she's doing. Take a roll call on that vote, please.
Mrs. Crowe?
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Duffy?
Yes.
Mr. Froyo?
Yes.
Mr. Iavino?
Yes.
Mrs. Rivera-Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Altrino?
Yes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes. Put that in the notes.
Mr. Winslow?
Yes.
Mayor Howard?
Yes. Congratulations. That's our last piece of official business. We can take points of personal privilege, if I would so like. Mr. Froyo on the far left. Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. Froyo, to your vote. On the transfers, I'm sorry. On the transfer packet, Mr. Altrino.
I mean, actually, we just had a question on the, what is the number? The one about the general supplies, public relations, and the SPED 94-142 going to the hot lunch program. Those pages need to be numbered. 6. It's a 6-page in from the front. We just
Thank you. If you could
just
use
some
the
of
microphone, Ms. Oliver. Thanks.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Some of the things that are listed here doesn't seem to fit.
What's that?
Well, just some of the reasons for the request listed there, doesn't seem to.
You mean for the itemization on the MCAS breakfasts and all of that?
Yeah, like so that all that money, the PTO, Malden High PTO meeting.
Mm-hmm.
They
They serve. It might be. I'm just guessing. It might be breakfast, croissants, coffee, water.
But doesn't the PTO have their own? Isn't that kind of separate? I know with all the other schools, it doesn't come out of the general supplies or spend.
Oh, you mean the PTO paying for that? I don't know what the policy is here at this school, so I don't know. Janice, do you know? Do you have anything else regarding the PTO? Do you know anything about those? Okay.
Obviously,
I
maybe
can
we
look
just
into
look
it.
at some of those items and see if we
certainly.
can. Right.
Okay. So you're suggesting that we go to the PTO and
just some of the reasons for request, if they really fit into these 2 items.
okay, we can elaborate on those.
Susan?
We'll look at the hot
Exactly.
lunch
So maybe,
sheets and we can get that for you.
Great, that would be thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Crowe. Mr. Altrino.
Ms. Oliver, the 4th page from the back, negotiated salaries increase in teachers, negotiated salary increases in the amount of $150,000 was sent to the substitutes long-term.
Yes.
Maybe this is a question for the superintendent. Is there sufficient funds in negotiations?
Yes, there are. Absolutely. Yep.
And that's how we're trying to find ways because of the increase in substitutes, is that correct?
That's right.
In the page before that is the homeless transportation superintendent, as you mentioned, $53,786, where we were underfunded for that because of the rise, and you took that all up from professional development for the most part?
For the most part.
And a mediation program for the high school?
Right, the mediation program is not in operation this year.
It's not?
Right.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Altrino. Other questions on the proposed
Thank you, Mr.
transfers? Thank you, Ms. Oliver. So as I understand it, they are for informational purposes only, do not
Yes.
require a vote because they're not against policy. All questions answered? Again, points of personal privilege, Mr. Froyo.
Yeah, I have a couple of points here. First of all, I'd like to wish all the Malden students a happy and safe February vacation. Congratulations to the Malden High School Art Department and Woodshop students who won awards at the annual Boston Globe Art Awards. gold key winners were Emily Chiavelli with digital photography, Ma Long with a drawing, and Justin Patterson made an electric guitar. And I've seen the guitar, and it's unbelievable. From what I understand, it was shipped for showing in New York. So, and also a silver key winner was Bao Wu for a sculpture. And also congratulations to the 3 teachers that were involved, Miss Fine and Miss Seeger and of the art department, and Mr. Murphy, the wood shop.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Mr. Winslow?
A few things. I'd like to thank the city IT department for getting the security cameras set up at the Salem Wood School that we asked for a report on several months ago. They did get those set up last week. The Salem Wood PTO is meeting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, and if any people are interested, there's a mentoring program on Friday afternoons at the Salem Wood School, and they can contact Dr. Pons. I've been doing that the past month or so, and it's a great way to be a mentor to a young student who is looking for some extra support. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. D'Angelo.
Hi, thank you. I'd like to invite families and remind everyone to join the Forestdale families for their multicultural night on Thursday, February 12th. It proves to be a fun night, and please bring your family, and there's lots of fun things and fun eats. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Farrell, Ms. Crowe?
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Olchin. Mr. Duffy?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I would just like to let everyone know that tomorrow there are a couple of meetings on the proposed Safe Routes to School program that we're trying to put in at the BB. The second of which will be at the BB PTO tomorrow night, which I believe is at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at the BB. And then also on March 19th, the second annual BB Spelling Bee will be held. It was a lot of fun last year. Ms. Susan Lawrence won it. So we're hoping to get a great turnout by the parents and the students to come down and match their wits up against Susan. And then also I'd like to congratulate the Civil Rights team of Malden High School and Dana Brown. This past Friday night on February 6th, they had the Rock Against Violence event at the Jenkins Auditorium. It was a terrific night. It went very well. There was a lot of youth violence prevention material shared out there. A lot of messages were received. Students scored very well on their post-evaluations. So it was just a really well-run night, and it was just a great job by the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duffy. Mr. Albino. You want that? No. Easy night. Thank you to the Linden School and the staff and administration down there for inviting me down to read today. One of the kindergarten classes. Great experience. Appreciate being there. That's it. Next meeting, Ms. Clerk, is on our new schedule. February 23rd. Same time, same place. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Altrino, second by Mr. Winslow. All in favor? Aye.